Yeah. Yesterday we discussed regarding tables, right? Today we want to discuss with forms. Generally, forms will be used to submit some data from web page to the server. Like data means generally in general scenarios, if you go to bank or somewhere, they'll provide us application forms with some fields, right? Text boxes, text areas, somewhere like gender. There you'll see checkboxes for selecting languages, kind of thing. We'll see checkboxes. All this can be achieved using form elements in HTML. Generally, the types are in the form. You can see text boxes, text areas, checkboxes, radio buttons, select box, multi-select, and submit button, reset button. These are commonly used components or tags in the HTML to prepare a form. Okay, first we'll see just I'm writing basic structure. You're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Insert the body. To write any form elements, we should start with form tag. I'll explain this too, why we need to use this method and action. Here, I want to write like one form. Input is a tag which will used for create text box on the web page. Right? For this, we'll specify the type of input. Right? If you want to create text box, the type will be text. Here you can see, right, text box. For this, the type is text. For text area, we have directly text area tag. For checkboxes, the type is checkbox. And for radio buttons, radio. For select box, we have select tag directly. For multi-select also, we'll use select, but we'll add one attribute multiple. For submit button, input type is submit. For reset button, reset directly. Here, without tags, we are seeing these types, right? These types should be specified for this attribute, type attribute. Then that the related component will be created. change. For example, it's a text. I'm making change. Checkbox. Radio. Submit. We'll see. See, input type text, checkbox, radio button, and this is directly button, right? Based on the type of component or control, we can say form controls. These are all form controls. This will be created using this type. Based on the type, we can create that, right? And first we can see about the action. Action means when we enter or fill the data in the form, after that we'll click submit button or save button. That when we click on that save or submit button, this action will decide where the data should be submitted. Like maybe action may be the server URL, some URL, or some file, some other file. These two have capability to get the data and insert in the database. Like server-side technologies can handle this data. Here directly will provide server API, or if you writing the project in PHP, then we can submit to one PHP file directly. Then that can take this request. Means this form will be submitted as the request for that particular link or URL. There, they'll take this entire data from that request and they'll insert into the database. And this method will decide. Generally, we have 4 types of methods: get, post, put, delete. Get is for requesting the URL. URL means which is specified in the action. Requesting the URL for data means requesting the data from the server. By this we can write like requesting data from server. Here posting or sending the data to server, right? Put means updating the data, or we can say update request to the server. Means we want to update the details which already existed server side or in the database. Delete means delete request. Generally, in our case, for form, we'll use only the post method, because from form we can send the data to the server. We cannot get the data from here. These other 3, get, put, and delete, these 3 can be achieved using JavaScript or jQuery or AngularJS to get the data and prepare the dynamic table, or update something which we already there in the server, or delete the record from the server or database. These 3 will use for JavaScript. But the post method will be used for form because post method will submit the data to the server. That's what we need to use post. This is generally input type. Here you can see a name type hidden. I'll explain it clearly. Yeah, I will do directly. Now, see the output. What we have now, one text box, checkbox, ready. But I'll take one example of form and I'll prepare each and every. I want first name, last name. Both are text fields, right? Now I cannot understand what is related to what, these two text fields, right? Then I can use label tag. Label tag to specify the related label of that field. First name, yeah, this is first name. I'm adding last name, right? We have last name, and now I want to show address. For address, we need some more, like the box should be more compared to this text box. That's what we'll use text area for address. This is text area. And known languages. Known languages. For that, we need to use checkbox. For that, we need to use checkbox is a type. Right here, we can specify English, Hindi, Telugu. Right, these are known languages. Right here, you can see 3 checkboxes. I'll explain you when this checkboxes needs to be used and when the radio buttons. And I'm taking another label for gender. Gender. Male. Female. Right, you can see here we have some things. Right, it's coming horizontally, right? If you want to make it vertically, just add, like we can add first, just we can add one paragraph tag so that those will come like in separate lines. Generally, this is not a best approach. If you like, if we have CSS, then we can handle with CSS directly. For now, I haven't explained this one CSS. That's what I'm not using CSS to format this form. Once we finish with CSS, then you can understand what should be used to format this. Right? It's displaying vertically now, and I need to write this one. Select works, taking that P. Qualification. SSC. Undergraduation, post graduation, PhD. That's it, right? We covered all of them. We need to have see the form, the drop down, and here I have to specify. Will come from first now. See, this is the label for the field, and this will specify the type of field. Here the first name and last name are the text fields. That's what we are using. The type is text, and to correlate this to label and this input, we use for attribute for to the label. It's a first name, right? I'll specify F name, and here for identification I will add one ID. ID is like identification, or we can say it's a unique ID for each field in the form. In the web page, ID should be unique and it should not be repeated. ID and also the name. Name is also another attribute. Mainly this name attribute will be used for forms. When we submit the data, the form will contains all related data. This input data will be inside this name. Name means if I specify F name, this property will have the data. I'll show you how that. I'm specifying F name. I'm relating this label with this text field. See how that will be. Now I don't have anything focused, right? When I click first name, it will focus on the text field. I'm clicking on first name, right? for this also I'm specifying for it's a last name. It's user defined. It's not predefined.
Sir, you're writing in paragraph for tags, sir. P tag. It should be in
Okay.
label tags.
For last name, this is user defined. We can see first name, last name. By this way, we can correlate each label and with the control.
Sir, one doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, you said in this input for the label F name, you are, connecting that to the name in the input. That
Yes.
means F name, yeah. And you said for in the web page, each and every ID should be like identical.
Yeah.
Is there any standards to follow those, like how IDs should be in real time?
Yeah. Generally, based on our label, right? Last time, generally in real time, we'll use like this. We should write full name with hyphen or underscore. Okay. If it is lengthy name, also we should use
Okay.
all the words with some separator.
Okay.
That's mainly preferred underscore or hyphen.
iPhone. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. For
Thank you, sir.
classes, for names also, we should follow this convention.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
And for this also. This you can understand, no issue. ID and name. And here something to talk about checkbox and radio button and select box. See here in checkbox we can able to select multiple things, and in radio button to make this radio button single selection. Generally radio button will be used for single selection from group of listed things. For that we need to specify name as, we'll specify like one name, right? Gender. Both should have same name. Then only that will act like we can select only one of them. Because when we submit the form, we don't need multiple data for this. For gender, there will be male or female, right? It should only one. Means list from listed options, if you want to select only one, we should use radio buttons. And here we have another case is this select box. Here also we are able to select only one item from the list of items. Same thing like radio buttons. The case is when we have less than 4 items in the group. Like here, if I have option 1, option 2, option 3, then I can use radio button instead of select box. If I have more than 3 options, then we should use select box for selection. Because of the place. If I specify 20 options using radio button, that will occupy lot of space and the confusion will arise on the form. That's what, if you have less than 4 items, then we need to use radio buttons. If we have more than 3, then we can go with select box. These two are correlated. For this checkbox also we have same thing. Like if you have 3 items, then we can use checkbox. If you have more than that, we can use select box with multiple selection. Same thing, I'm taking select box only. Here just I'm adding multiple is attribute to, sorry, 1 second. Something is missing here. Why this select color is
The spelling is wrong for select. Closing tab.
yeah, that's correct. This is multi-select. Using control, you can select number of items from the list of items. If you have more than 3 items, then instead of checkbox, we can use this multi-select. That is the difference between these two and these two. These two are related, and radio button and select is related, and checkbox and multi-select is related. If I enter something, if I click on submit, and the font type, submit, don't require action. Don't have action, right? It won't post the data. It won't post the data because we don't have URL to post, or else we can use, I think, form.html just to see the data. No, we cannot see because we don't have any URL with us. Get. Yeah. Just for displaying this data, I'm using get method. Whatever is selected, here you can see f name as name, l name as l name, address as HYD, gender on, right? Other things we haven't get because we haven't specified the name for them, right? Here I specified name for gender, that's what it's coming. Here I specified address, last name, first name. If I add name, these three should have same name because this is group. ABC. I selected these three. gender, you can see languages on, right? Without this on, if you want to get the value directly, we need to specify one value attribute for this. Right, submit. Here you can see languages, English and Hindi. And this we can call, these are like query strings which will be divided with question mark, and each property will be divided with ampersand. This is the name of each field. This will carry the data, like if I use get, then that will display on the URL entire data which I entered in the form. If I specify name for this, select qualification. For this also I need to specify the value for each option, or else form will not recognize the value of the options. That's what we should specify some value. If I use here 0 or 1, and here also 0, 1, 2 in place of value, when you see in the form, you can see the direct label which you specified here. When I submit, you can see the numbering, right? Qualification 1, language is 0, right? This, for this I specified 0, this one and this one to 2. Generally, why this is used like this means in real times we'll configure these options externally, like dynamically. When we are displaying these options in radio buttons or drop downs, we'll get from the database and will populate here directly. If I use static kind of thing, if I want to add new option to that select box, then again I need to go to the UI code and I need to add another option to display here, right? That's what in real time, these are like master settings, all the options which are displaying on the form for select box or for radio buttons and these things. These list will come from the database. Okay, that database, in that database, every record will have unique ID, right? When we submit the form, we should send that unique ID. Then at the situation, we'll have like unique ID and the related label. This label will be displayed for user understanding. This ID is related for the database record. I think you completed the Java, right? There you can see like relations, primary key and foreign key relations, right? That child and parent relationship will be maintained using this ID directly without maintaining this label. And this is submit button, which will be used to submit the form directly. And another one, we have reset button. If you click on reset, automatically that will clean entire form. The type is reset. Now generally these are basic form elements which we'll use. I selected here and I selected here. If I click on reset, that will reset, right? Now we'll see some of new components or form elements introduced recently. Okay, those also like starts with input only. Input type, if you want to specify numbers, number, just this will provide one numeric stepper. This we can say numeric stepper. This is latest one, newly introduced. And input type, date. Generally, these new introduced tags will be work only on Chrome browser. It won't support in other browsers like Mozilla, Safari, IE. Only this will be supported for Chrome only. Here you can directly. I haven't written any logic for this. Just I use the type is date. Right? I'm able to select. I'm able to navigate somewhere. I'm able to select month and the dates, months. I can navigate. I can select the date here. I can clear. I can increase the value like numeric stepper in each place. Right? This is type date. Another one is type month. Right? Here you can select like only the month. The requirement is based on requirement, we can use these things. If I want to select only one month and the year, then you can use this input type month. And don't have in this slide PPT. We discussed about this, right? Of them select box, form data, multi-part, label, import. Here another one we missed is input type file. When you want to upload the file directly to the form, then we need to use this type of input. It will provide this button with this no file chosen. If I click this, it will select some image or file from our local system and it will display the name. It will display the name directly. Just click on this. No functionality needed for this. Just specify input type file. That's it. It will take care internally. Frames are not required. Right. HTML iframes are deprecated. That's what I'm not explaining that. Try to see important things in HTML5. What is this? This is related to the yes. These two not related. Yeah. Here you can see newly introduced form elements in HTML5. The main difference between HTML4 and 5 is the form elements and the doc type. Doc type means this is the doc type. Now we are specially specifying the doc type for HTML5. Means the browser knows or browser understand by this tag, it's a HTML page. Previously, we are not maintaining that for HTML. For there, we have doc type, but if you specify or not, that won't care by the browser. But if you want to use these HTML5 features, then we should specify this doc type. Okay, this doc type mainly required for HTML5, right? Here you can see input type color is a new introduced attribute. Here we can pick the color and select OK. Right? That color will be selected. Next, this we suggest now the date, input type date. Here you can select our time, hours and minutes and seconds. Right? This is input type date. It's a time. Here date and time. Nothing is there. Something. Date time local. It's working. You can select date. After that, you can provide the time. Month and year. Here it's a month field. And it's a week field. Which week you selected. And it's a email. Input type email. This will accept only the email address format. When we originally implement perfect validations using JavaScript, if you click on submit, it will throw an error, the invalid email address. Generally the valid email address should have some name, only one at the right and at least one dot. After that, it will search for only one dot before it. This is the convention. Email ID should have only one at the right, and after the at the right, at least it should have one dot. So that's a valid email ID. This is numeric stepper, number. This is slider. Email, number, range. This is URL and search. This is also validates for the URL. The URL format should be http://www. Search will provide this extra feature. That's it. Other text fields, but they provided like some extra features with the text field only based on these types. Again saying these HTML5 inputs will be executed or displayed on only Chrome browser. Like if I open this in Mozilla, right? Nothing is working. Just this only supported. Input type color. Here no daytime, nothing. Only number is working and slider is working. That's it. No other things are working, right? It's not supported by the Mozilla. I think nowadays somewhat previously these two are not also supported, but now they are making some changes. I think in Mozilla to support HTML5 input tags. Clear? Generally, these are frames. This is one concept. I think when CSS was not there, it's a old pattern to divide the web page into different parts, frames. Previously, they were using the frames to divide into multiple parts. The web browser. Now we are using div. We don't use this. It's very deprecated. We don't bother about it. We can ignore it directly. No use of it. Clear? Any doubts in the form? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I forgot to tell you input type. Other we have. If you are using login page or if you are creating login page, then password field should show the starts, right? For that we need to use the type is password. If it is password, directly will show this is password field. When I type, it shows directly the starts. In any application, when you are logging with in login page, everywhere will use this input type password. If you want to see, it's a small trick. If you want to see this password, sometimes in the browser will remember our username password, but we don't remember, right? If you want to know what is that behind the stars, just right click on this field, inspect, go to this and double click on this and change to text. That's it. It will display the text. Got it? If you forget your password but the browser remember, just go to here and right click, inspect, double click on this password and type text, enter. That's it. It will display the text instead of stars.
Sir, it makes security issues, right?
Security means
Like someone will come to know our password.
yeah, that's correct. But how it is displaying, because you remembered your browser, right? When it asks you, you should say no, I don't want to remember. That's our issue, not application issue, right? Generally, the remembering feature is related to the browser, not related to the application. If you want security, you won't store your passwords in the browser, your browser. Right? First time when we log in, browser will ask to save your username or password. Right?
Yes, sir.
Clear? Any other questions? Tomorrow I'm going to start with CSS.
Excuse, sir.
Sorry?
Can you please mail us the PPT, sir?
Yes, I'll send you.
Oh, thank you.
Save the PPT. And,
Oh, thank you, sir.
and this one also, HTML5 inputs I have, right? I'll save that also.
Yeah, okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay. No doubts, right? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, done. And just try to create one form from your side and just see if you have found any gaps or any doubts related to each input or these things. Okay, just try to create one, just create one HTML file and just try to at least these things. In PPT you can see example for each topic. See here, Just come here and copy paste this text and paste in browser and just verify on the browser, just for practice. Once I finish with CSS, we can create static templates. There I'll provide some images based on that image you need to practice how that will be created using HTML and CSS. Then there you get lot of questions, and so that I can, okay. Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
మా క్యాబ్ వచ్చేటప్పుడు స్పానిష్ అనుకుందాం స్పానిష్
Okay, then we'll meet tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.